I am also very, very happy to see such a distinguished panel this morning, and it is very hard to figure out how to find my way through just 5 minutes with you all because you all have so much experience and expertise. I will say that the issue of affordability of higher education is something I hear about from constituents just all the time. And in an economy where we know that 80% of jobs are going to require a post-secondary credential or degree of some kind, it is even more imperative that we find a way to make sure that people can afford to continue to improve and get those credentials. So I want to start, Dr. Anderson, with a question for you. I am from New Hampshire, so I have seen firsthand how state investment in public higher education can impact whether or not students are able to access an affordable education. Like many states, New Hampshire investment in higher education declined during the recession. It has since struggled to get back up to where it needs to be. As you've just heard from the chairman, as policymakers, we have to make tough decisions about where to invest finite funds, and a large part of our discretionary budgets can take hits. What is clear, though, is that there is a far-reaching return on investment when we support higher education. When I became governor of New Hampshire, one of the first things I did was to work to freeze tuition for 2 years at our university system and to lower it at our community colleges. I've also seen how important things like TAC grants and federal aid are in our community college system. So, Dr. Anderson, can you talk some more? You've referenced it. How could we develop federal-state partnerships that would incentivize states to invest more in higher education at all levels?
Thank you for the question. Tying into what was said by Senator Alexander regarding some of these investments into Pell, I think an increased Pell amount, I think looking at negative EFC on that front will help fund more those students who are most in need. Yeah. And I think that'll free up institutions and systems to put a little bit more of their aid more towards those institutions that serve these students. I referred to a study earlier in my comments regarding a a 10% investment up front into these types of institutions, community colleges, and 2-year programs resulting in a 10% increase within a year for associate's degrees and 26 for certificate programs. And what we found in that also, and what that research discovered, is that that increased money is put into academic supports and student supports. And that's what's key. When an institution is having to cut back to what they would consider bare bones, that's what leaves, and that's what students who are underserved need the most. They need the academic supports and the student supports.
Well, thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. And Dr. Smith, I wanted to drill down on the concept of affordability goals with you. Last year, the University of New Hampshire launched a program called Granite Guarantee. Under this program, first-year Pell Grant-eligible New Hampshire students will receive free tuition for 4 years. Over 400 students have been served under the Granite Guarantee program, and the tuition assistance program is expanding to our entire university system. In an effort to make college more affordable and expand access to low-income students, institutions and state university systems are implementing these kinds of programs across the country. So we also know that we need to be thinking about how to help students beyond tuition, because the entire panel has made this point. It's not just tuition, it's the cost of living. So as we look at ways to leverage federal aid to expand access to college, how do you think states and institutions of higher education should be using an affordability goal to inform their policies and funding?
First, I think that's fantastic. I think more states need to have an affordability goal. Right now, we talk about affordability, but we don't tell people what that means. So the average person doesn't know when you say, I want to make college more affordable without something specific that resonates with them. They don't understand what you're trying to accomplish and how what that requires of them. So I think having that goal is important. And then secondly, having goals complementary around completion. So you can't just get people in, you also have to make sure that you're helping them through. And you could, I want to make sure we say this, could actually have affordability just for people who are already going, and that would be terrible for us to just say, oh, we're not going to use this to get more people in, we're going to just use this to make it less expensive for those that are already going. So those things have to pair together.
Well, thank you very much. And I see I am out of time. Dr. Pollard, I will follow up with you because you are not the first community college president who we have heard from in the last month or so to talk about the need for additional supports, financial and other kinds of assistance for students on community college campuses to help them succeed. And I'll follow up in writing with you about that. Thank you.